All right, guys, tell me if this is you. So you get invited to a party or a family event. Now they ask you to bring a dish. You don't know what to bring. You don't do this often. Maybe you've never brought a dish before. And you're thinking to yourself, what am I gonna make? So you're searching Pinterest. You're looking frantically for a good recipe. And you probably don't end up finding one. And you just end up buying some chips and bringing it to the party. Now, that is all fine and dandy, but I'm going to show you guys today the best dish to bring to a family event, and everybody's going to be raving about it, and you will be the highlight of that party. Okay, before we get into these ingredients, you got to preheat the oven at 375 degrees because we're going to bake this chicken. Now, this is a recipe that I've had many a times, and it's one of my favorites. It is one of my most popular, and these are delicious taquitos. You can buy them at the store in the bags. They're not even close to these guys. I promise you, when you have these, the bags will disappoint you, okay? So oven at 375, and now let's go over the ingredients. Okay, so first you're gonna need 3 chicken breasts. We're gonna season that chicken with 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, chili powder, ground cumin, and salt. Okay, now for the cheese filling. We're gonna do 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of sour cream, 1/3 cup of salsa, 1 teaspoon of cumin, garlic powder, chili powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Gonna need 3 green onions, 2 tablespoons of cilantro, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, and we're gonna need 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese and 1/2 cup of shredded pepper jack cheese, and of course a pack of small tortillas. All right, guys, now we're gonna start working on the seasoning that's gonna go on this chicken. So you're gonna need 1/4 teaspoon of each of these seasonings here. We got some garlic powder, some cumin, chili powder, and then some salt. I'm gonna mix that up. And that's going on your chicken. All right, now that that seasoning's done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this chicken ready. Now I just patted that chicken, so I didn't pat it completely dry, but I got it to the point of, you know, it's not all wet. So I just sprayed the pan, and we're gonna wanna take that chicken and put it in this, I usually like to use a glass Pyrex dish. Put it in the dish, and we're going to take this seasoning that we just made, and we're going to kind of spread it on the chicken. You could even add a little bit more seasoning. This chicken is about ready to throw in the oven. First, we're gonna drizzle on a little bit, just a little bit of oil. Calls for olive oil. I always use vegetable oil. Just pat that on there a little bit. Over, get that on there. All right, now we're gonna throw this in the oven. All right, guys, as I said, now we're gonna put these in the oven on 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. I usually just do 23 minutes, but make sure the chicken's done. Check it with the thermometer, cut it, make sure it's done, and then we're gonna start making that filling. Okay, now we're gonna start chopping up some of these veggies we got in here, some of these herbs. So what it calls for is 3 green onions. So I'm gonna do that. Chop off the ends here. Got my bowl handy. We're just gonna chop them up small. Remember, when you're chopping anything, make sure you tuck your fingers. So all it takes is one miscut or lapse of, distraction, and you end up hurting yourself. So here's that green onion. All right, now I'm gonna get the cilantro out of here. And typically I just use this whole container, stems and all. I don't know what the correct protocol is on cilantro, but I've always used the whole thing. And I love cilantro. Fresh cilantro tastes so good. And just the second you cut into it, it just smells so good. But this recipe, this is definitely one of my favorites. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. There's a decent amount of ingredients, but you're pretty much just throwing them all into a filling, and you're just letting the chicken bake. And that's like the easiest way to make chicken. I use the same, bake it for 20 to 25 minutes for like a lot of chicken recipes that aren't like the main dish is the chicken, because sometimes it's nice to have a little, a seared chicken, because when you bake it, it doesn't have any crust on it. But there's the cilantro, all nice and minced. Now let's start working on getting this filling together. Okay, now this is where the recipe really starts to take form. So I got a block of cream cheese here. You can leave it out. It's got to get soft. You can leave it out all day and it'll get to room temp, or you can throw it in the microwave for 20 seconds, which is what I did. So you're gonna throw that in there, and then you're gonna take your sour cream, and you need 3 tablespoons of sour cream in there. So put that in there. All right, after you put your sour cream in, we're gonna throw in 1/3 cup of salsa here. And I think that this whole, what I got left in here, is pretty much a 1/3 cup. So we're gonna put that in there. Next, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start our seasonings. Now you need a whole teaspoon of chili powder, garlic powder, and ground cumin, and then you need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then you need the green onions that we chopped up. Throw those in there, and the cilantro. And now you're going to need to measure out 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And I have already measured out the 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese and the ½ cup of shredded pepper jack. So we're just gonna dump that in there. And now you just need to mix it up. All right, now we're gonna mix this up. Gotta get something hard because this cream cheese is pretty thick. You get it something too rubbery and it's not even gonna mix very well. And this recipe, guys, is honestly perfect for the Super Bowl coming up. We got the Super Bowl this weekend, and this will be a hit, guys, I'm telling you. Instead of ordering pizza, get some friends together, get some family together, just all make your guys' own recipes. I mean, at this point, we got brownies on the channel, we got cookies on the channel, we got taquitos. I mean, that would be an amazing Super Bowl spread. You guys can get pizza on top of that, guys, and then it would just be complete. But this right here is your filling. You just want to make sure that you get all that cream cheese so you don't have like a big thick piece of cream cheese in there. You just want to incorporate it well. It's a nice cheesy filling in there, and it really just has so much flavor with all the spices in there, and then the fresh cilantro and the lime juice and the salsa. Just a lot of good flavors in there. So that looks about good, guys. You just want to make sure that it's nice and mixed up and there's no white clumps in there. And now we're just waiting on this chicken, and we're gonna throw it in here and start rolling these bad boys. All right, guys, at this point, it's been 23 minutes and the oven's beeping. So we're gonna take this chicken out and we're gonna let it cool down. We're gonna let it cool down a little bit, but not too much because we gotta shred this chicken. Okay, at this time, we're gonna start shredding this chicken. It's definitely not all the way cooled yet, but the best time, in my opinion, to shred chicken is when it is still nice and warm, because it just falls off. If you let it dry, then it will just a lot harder. Shredding chicken already isn't that fun, and I haven't found an easier way than just taking 2 forks and pulling apart. And so yeah, there's one piece done. Now I'm gonna shred these other 2 pieces. I'm not gonna bore you guys and make you sit through that, but I'll be right back when I'm done with these 2 pieces. All right, guys, now that this is all shredded up, we're gonna go ahead and get it in this bowl and mix it up with our filling. You don't have to mix these. I've done it both ways. It kind of streamlines the process, because then, you know, you're spreading the filling on there and then doing the chicken, or you're spreading the filling and then the chicken's already in there. So it just kind of takes one step out of it. And in some cases, it actually makes it a little bit more efficient, like in terms of like chicken to filling ratio. All I'm doing here is mixing it up. That looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna get those tortillas and we're gonna start rolling these up. All right, at this point, you're gonna kind of develop your own little conveyor belt. So you got your spoon, gonna take some of that filling, you're gonna roll it in the middle. Try to get a decent amount on there. This recipe says it makes between 16 and 18. I think I usually end up getting more than that. But you're just gonna roll them up, start setting them down on the baking tray. I put foil down, and I sprayed Pam on it. Remember, always spray, even if you're pretty sure it's not gonna stick. It always helps. The last thing you want is to make a good meal and it gets squandered because it's all burnt on the bottom. it's not, you know, no one wants to be, and no one wants to clean that either. I mean, no one wants to clean that, and no one wants to eat burnt food off the cookie sheet. So, yeah, we're just lining it. Nice little line there. And then just tucking it and rolling it. And we're going to repeat this process about 16 times until we get however many we end up getting. I think I got 20 tortillas here, so I'm prepared for 20. Trust me, guys. Whenever you're done, however many you make, you're going to wish you had more. But I'm going to roll these, and I'll get back to you when I'm done rolling these. Alright guys, I just got done rolling these. I got exactly 18. We're going to throw these in the oven. Kick that oven up to 425 degrees. We're going to throw them in there for about 15 to 20 minutes until you notice that they're golden brown. Alright, going to throw these in the oven and let them sit there for about 15-20 minutes. Just make sure you check them. You don't want them to get too crispy, then they'll be hard. I'll probably say 15 minutes is probably good. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. These babies are sizzling. Take them out of the oven. We're going to let them cool for about 5 to 10 minutes because those suckers will burn the roof of your mouth off. Alright, they're all done. I got one right here. We're going to try it out. My favorite thing to dip these in is sour cream. But we're going to try it without the sour cream right now because, I mean, I got to give you the honest flavor review. That's so good. We got nice golden brown. The filling coming out of it. I mean, there's so much flavor there. You get so much freshness from that lime juice and that cilantro, but then you get that cheesiness when you get the chicken, and that is great. And honestly, you put it in there, it's got a little bite to it. It's got a little sweetness to it. These are amazing. I encourage you guys to make this recipe. Take it to your Super Bowl party. Take it to the next birthday party you have, next holiday event. I guarantee it will be a huge hit, and everyone will be asking you about that recipe. And you can send them to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys get to try it for yourself. Like and subscribe, and don't forget, let me know what you want to see next.